Finally, we got to see some footage from the speaker base. Today, Mr. Boom published 6 spoilers from the third part of episode 79. If you look closely at the bottom of the spoilers, you can find some hidden text. Putting it all together, we get a long sentence that says, "Time to clap back for real." From this, we understand that the time has come for the Alliance to strike back. In the first frame, we see a Speakerman in a red tie with a dagger in his hand, who looks very similar to the Dark Speakerman. Perhaps the Speakerman created an identical agent, since the Dark Speakerman died during the battle with the Skibidi scientist. After all, it's no secret that the existence of an almost identical agent is quite real. For example, in the series there are 2 cameramen, one with a light-colored head and the other with a gray camera. We will soon analyze the rest of the frames, but before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as unfortunately, most people watch videos without subscribing. I also asked Dafuk Boom about the third part of episode 79, and in the next video, I will show you what Mr. Boom replied. In the second spoiler, we see the Speakerman's reactors. In the third frame, we see a large gate, and I think everyone has already guessed who will be kept there. We will analyze everything in more detail in the second part of this video. In the fourth frame, we see huge columns moving in a certain direction, most likely an improvement for the Titan Speakerman. In the last frames, we see that the entire Alliance is hiding at the Speakerman's base, as it is currently the most secure base. Episode 79 is not quite ordinary. In our analysis, we talked about almost everything, but we missed some important points and secret details that I would like to discuss with you in today's video. Episode 79 was accompanied by a series of tragedies. In the second part of the episode, we lost 2 significant characters at once. But while Michael Jackson died heroically, taking a cannon shell for himself, the camera woman did the opposite. She died senselessly, simply shooting herself, which is very strange from a plot point of view, because this character has not yet been fully revealed to us. She was one of the most important characters, and viewers can't help but notice the strangeness of why Dafuk decided to kill her off. And here the main question arises. Did the camera woman really take her own life, or was her death skillfully staged by someone in the shadows? Today we will discuss all this in more detail. We will analyze how the Watchman of Doom was able to catch up with the agents, even where, according to Large TV Man, they were completely safe. We will also talk about how the agents almost managed to save the Titan of TV Man, and also why even more key characters will die in part 3 of episode 79. Let's start with the death of Camera Woman. At the moment of her death, a strange detail occurs. For literally a second, a certain character appears in the frame. We never see his face, so viewers are still arguing about who he really was. Some are sure that it's the secret agent, others believe that it's his assistant, and some even lean towards the version about a third, unknown character. But then a logical question arises. Why did Dafuk show us this mysterious character in the first place? Moreover, in his Discord, he directly hinted that there is a secret hidden in this episode that is worth paying attention to. To figure this out, it's worth remembering the relationship between Camera Woman and Plunger Man. Their bond is really strong because even before they became who we know them as now, they were just regular people. If the mysterious silhouette really belongs to the secret agent, then it's weird that his attention is focused on this couple. Perhaps Dave and Kathy knew him back then in human form. After all, we are often shown flashbacks that gradually reveal new details about the character's past. I am inclined to believe 2 possible versions. The first version. Dafuk could have replaced the camera woman at the very moment when the words "camera offline" appeared on the screen. At that time, there was complete chaos on the battlefield, and it was then that such a replacement would have been most appropriate and inconspicuous. The second version. Camera Woman really did leave the story as a combat character. Now she may turn out to be the secret agent's new assistant, joining Dave. Of course, everyone would like to believe that Camera Woman will return and continue to help the Alliance. But to find out the truth, only one thing is needed: time. Many viewers were also left wondering how Watchman of Doom managed to catch up with the agents in a place that, according to Large TV Man, was supposed to be completely safe for them, at least for a while. At first glance, this seems contradictory, but when you consider that Watchman of Doom is essentially a TWEM, everything falls into place. He is also capable of using teleportation and accessing the TWEM dimension. What is strange is that this time there were no guards or guardians in the dimension, such as Jeffrey or other defenders. Moreover, Astro Toilets also infiltrated the dimension along with the Watchman of Doom, which looks even more alarming. All this may not be a coincidence, but a direct hint at the future development of the plot. Perhaps it is through this dimension that the Titan TV man will be able to free himself from the influence of the core. And it is unlikely that the guards who are responsible for protecting this space will like such interference, because the enemies have actually infiltrated one of the safest places for the entire Alliance. Now, let's recall one leaked frame from episode 79. It showed large TV man with a broken screen, although at the end of the second part of episode 79, the screen was intact. This directly hints that the deaths will continue, and most likely, not only he will die, but also someone from the Astro Toilet squad. After all, the loss of several key characters from the Alliance alone would seem illogical for the balance of the plot. Therefore, the most likely candidate for death on their side is the UFO Toilet. We still haven't been shown his conversation with G-Man, and it's quite possible that as soon as the viewers are shown all the important information, he will be removed from the plot. Moreover, this character has already received enough screen time, starting with the distant 53rd episode. It is logical that his arc may come to an end right now. Based on this, we can assume that in the full 79th episode, we will see the death of at least one key character from both sides. Another detail that many viewers overlooked is related to Detective Cameraman. After his appearance at the base, the case he never lets out of his hands, even despite the critical situation around him, immediately catches the eye. At first glance, it may seem that this is just an element of his image, designed to emphasize the importance of the character, but considering Defook's style, it becomes obvious that such details are not added just like that. This case is clearly important to the plot. After all, when it comes to their own salvation, most characters would drop everything unnecessary to make their path to survival easier. However, the detective acts differently. This means that the contents of the case are far more valuable to him than even his own safety. But what could be inside? There are several options. The first is documents. We know that Detective Cameraman interrogated the cameraman's luckies and most likely recorded the information he obtained. If so, his suitcase may contain an entire archive, files on agents, interrogation reports, evidence, and reports on every important character. Imagine how important this could be for the rest of the plot. After all, he has collected data on a multitude of characters. The second option is technology. In the first part of episode 79, he already took a device that allows him to translate the languages of different races. This is direct evidence that he not only carries papers, but also collects certain technologies. For example, this technology will help him interrogate characters from other races, thanks to his knowledge of their language with the help of the device. It is logical to assume that he may have other unique technologies in his case that can help him with various tasks. Thus, the Detective Cameraman's case is not just an accessory. It is a potential key to the mysteries that Defook deliberately leaves behind the scenes, so that viewers can rack their brains and build their own theories. It is quite possible that the contents of this case will be a turning point for the plot of future episodes. And of course, I couldn't ignore a topic that concerns literally every viewer: why none of the Titans ever appeared. Viewers were so disappointed that the outrage reached its peak. One of Defook's administrators was even forced to close the comments for a whole day. If you are interested, you can pause the video and read his message yourself, where he expresses his dissatisfaction with such a violent reaction from the audience. It seems to me that Defook is deliberately constructing the plot in such a way as to destroy all the Alliance's existing bases, step by step, and thus smoothly move us to a new foothold, the Speakerman's base. And it is quite possible that in the third part of episode 79, we will be able to see it with our own eyes for the first time. After all, there are already hints of this. It has become known that the animator Zach Dorr is working on the Speakerman base. Looking at the current situation, it becomes clear that there are practically no safe bases left. The Cameraman base has already been destroyed. The TV Man base, although it has many locations, is still in critical condition. Its infrastructure has been destroyed to such an extent that it is impossible to create new technologies there. The Skibidi Toilet's base, known as Alpha Hills, has also lost its strategic value. It is too vulnerable, because Astro Toilets can appear there at any moment, or perhaps they have already taken it over from within. That is why there is only one option left, the Speakerman base. In theory, it could be either underwater or high in the sky, because Defook himself hinted that in the future, we will see events not only on Earth, but also beyond it. Now, with such a smooth transition, in the third part of episode 79, we will finally see the long-awaited Speakerman base, along with their own Titan and G-Man. And if we're lucky, the Cameraman Titan will join them. However, in my opinion, the Titans themselves will not enter the fray until episode 80. Defook is clearly holding back this moment so that the tension reaches its peak. And in the additional scenes, we can expect not only what I mentioned above, but also the return of the squad from episode 78, led by the half-Titan Speakerman. Well, that's all from me. As always, this is Super Cameraman signing off. See you very soon, everyone.